Hi, I'm Laura Bocquin. I work at the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts in the Education Department. I am technically a museum educator, and I'm here today to show y'all a lesson that we do for our program called Learning Through Art. The flagship partner school is Wares Ferry Road Elementary School. We've been out there teaching these lessons since 2013, and this is a lesson that we do with third grade typically, but it can be adapted to other grades. We base it on portraits that we have in our collection, and a portrait is just a picture of a person or an animal, typically. A self-portrait, if you can guess, is when the artist makes a portrait of themselves. And so these are some examples that other people have made using this lesson over the years. This is a little diagram right here that's going to show how we're going to place the features on the face. And then I've got some supplies over here that, if you want to follow along, these are some things that you might need. I have a mirror, because obviously if I'm making a picture of myself, I need to see what I look like. I also have a pre-cut shape for the face and a little measuring strip, but you don't have to have these. Simple enough. Most face shapes are kind of ovular, kind of like an oval. But again, if you just look in a mirror and get a feel for what your face looks like, you can draw out a general shape on your paper. I'm going to be tracing this and using a strip that measures the same length as it. So it's 6.5 inches long by 1 inch wide. But again, you don't have to be quite as technical as me. You can really just even use a ruler. And this is also a great lesson for not just learning fractions, but also measuring. And so after you draw out your face shape, you can use a ruler to measure the length. And I'll explain to you in a second why. If you're working at home, you probably would want to use a pencil and eraser so that if you feel like you don't like something and you want to fix it, you can always just erase it. I'm going to be working in a black Sharpie so that you can see it really well. And then other materials I'm going to use a little later on will be some colored pencils to add some fun features to my self-portrait, and some collage materials, which basically just means I'm going to use scraps of paper, and these can be things from a magazine or even just construction paper, just kind of fun colors, and I'm going to cut them up. So I've got scissors and a glue stick. All right, so let's get going. The first thing I'm going to do is place my face stencil kind of in the middle of the paper. So if you're just drawing an oval or face shape, you want to kind of keep it towards the middle. It can be down a little lower, up a little higher, your choice. It just depends on how much of the neck and shoulders or body you would want to draw. So let's get going. Trace my shape on. It does not have to be perfect. This is just the beginning, which is kind of like a rough draft. We've got a long way to go, so we can develop it and make it what we want it to look like. You'll see with this one right here, it's kind of abstract, which means that it doesn't necessarily look like real life. So the colors are fun. It's got a different color face and pink hair. Some are more realistic, so they look like real life. So this is kind of open to interpretation. You make it look how you want it to look. So the first thing we're going to do after drawing the face shape on is start measuring out the proportions of the face. So placing the features, so things like your eyes, your nose, mouth, eyebrows, your ears, all these different things that we have on our head. You'll notice, if you look in a mirror, we always think that we want to do our eyes up here. But if we actually didn't have any hair, your eyes are in the middle of your face. If you take your hair away and you look at the whole head, your eyes are in the center of the face. And so the first step is to find the center line, or the eye line. So I have a strip that's the same length. So what I would do for that is fold it in half, or fold it one time equally. But if you want to use a ruler, you could just measure the full length. So this is 6.5. And then I would go and find the halfway point. So 3 1/4. But I'm going to use my strip to show you the fun way. All right, so I'm going to fold it one time in half, like this, and place it on the chin in the center. And then I'm going to do a dot on either side of it. It's not a very big dot, because that dot is going to become a corner of the eye. Those are the center corners for the eyes. And then from there, I'm going to move it over, add another little dot. That's now the other corner for the left eye. And move it over here, add another dot. All right, so now I've got 4 dots spaced out. And I'm going to be adding lines that will show the eyes, the eye shape. And again, this is the time to look in your mirror and see what shape your eyes are. Some people have more of an almond shape, some people have smaller eyes. It just depends on what your eyes look like, is what you want to draw. So just some curved lines. Kind of like that. Drawing from the side is a little difficult. It always kind of looks like an alien at this point, but we'll get there. We'll add more features. All right, so we've got eyes. The next step, if we want to go ahead and add some enhancement to the eyes, we can put the iris in, which is the colorful part in your eye. So some people have brown eyes, some people have blue eyes, some people have green eyes. And that's the part that we've just added now. It's like a circle in your eye. And then in the middle of that, you have your pupil, which is the darker part in the middle. And you can do those as big or as small as you want. They're bigger when you need to see a little bit more, when it's dark, and they're smaller when it's light. All right, so we've got some eye features going. Let's add maybe the eyelashes if you want. We can just add some quick little lines like that. And again, if you're doing this at home, you don't have to make sure, it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can always go back and add a little more. Like say you want it to look like, she's got on some nice mascara. We can give her some longer lashes. However you want it to be. All right. And then, of course, we're going to have eyebrows up here, just a little bit above. And again, look, use your mirror. Get a feel for where your eyebrow is, what the shape is. We all have different shapes of eyebrows too. And those are going to be pretty much just right over where the eye is. They might come in a little bit towards the center depending on what your shape is. Maybe a little bit more like that. All right. After the eyebrows, I think let me add some lashes on the bottom. Not too many, but give it a little bit more detail. Now we're going to go on to the nose. So we're going to need our measuring strip again. So again, if you're using a ruler, you would, I'll show you how to measure in a minute. So the eyes, was it folded just once, so fold it in half. To find where the bottom of the nose is, we're going to fold it into 1/4 of the original length. So you're going to fold it one more time, like that. All right, so it looks a little bit tinier, but that's taking it to 1/4 of the original length there. And I'm placing it on the chin again. I'm going to just do a little dot right there so I get an idea of where the tip of the nose is. All right, so if you were doing your ruler, again, you're going to measure that full length. You found your halfway point. 3 1/4. And so now basically you want to find halfway between that mark and the bottom. Let's see, I can do math. So up an inch, down an inch. Let's see. It's going to be around the 5 mark. Right there. All right. And this is again where you want to look in your mirror, get the idea, of what your nose shape is. We all have different noses. Some are a little bit wider, some are a little bit more narrow, some have more of a ball on the end, some are a little bit longer. But it's going to be kind of like a wide curved line, and then you're going to have curves like this off of it, kind of like for your nostrils on the side where you breathe. And then maybe a little bit of a line here to kind of indicate the bridge of the nose coming down. However much you want to add or don't, your choice. Your nose, your choice. All right. I can use a little bit of shadow in there to show that there's holes that you breathe out of. All right, and then for the mouth, that's basically going to be about halfway between the bottom of the nose and where the chin is, so right around in here. This is another great opportunity to look in the mirror, get a feel for what your lip shape is. We all have different shaped lips too. Typically the bottom lip is going to be just kind of one curved line like this. And the top lip normally has a little bit of a dip in the middle, kind of like an M. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can play with it when we add color. I'm going to give it a line in the middle to show that there are 2 lips. There we go. All right, we are missing ears, very important to hear. So we've got the top of the head up here, eyes are halfway down, and the nose is 1/4 of the way down the face. Believe it or not, look in your mirror. Nobody believes me when I say this. Your ears start up with your eye line and go all the way down to the bottom of your nose. We tend to want to draw ears a lot shorter, and some ears are smaller. Again, that's, a general rule of thumb. About there. If your ears are smaller, you look in the mirror and you see where they are, and you draw them the way that you see your ears. Those are not perfect. They're just kind of curves. We can add some lines on the inside to show where like the lobe is, or the curves of your ear. I'm probably going to end up adding some hair on mine anyway that'll kind of cover them up. In fact, I think I'll do that now. So we've got the face pretty much done. All of our features are there. We just need to add hair. So I'm going to give myself some bangs. So really this would just be, I'm given like an idea of where that line is. My hair is going to come down like this. Let's see, there's my neck, one line. If you look in the mirror, your neck has to support your head. Another thing that we tend to want to do is draw really narrow necks when we are drawing faces. And your neck is actually going to be almost about as wide as your head because it has to support your head. Make mine a little bit wider. And I can fix that in a minute with some paper. When I add my collage, a couple curved lines for the shoulders. Nothing fancy. I think I'll do a little bit of a curve for a shirt there. All right, more hair. Let's add more hair. Some long lines. Make those bangs look a little more natural. All right. I don't think my bangs are quite that choppy, or at least I hope they're not. All right, let's see. That's nicer. Okay. Oh, I always forget when I'm doing my self-portrait. My students always have to remind me, what am I missing? My glasses. It's very important. Can't see without them, and it definitely would not be a self-portrait if I didn't have glasses on there, because I have to have my glasses. I'm going to draw glasses just using some lines. Kind of the shape of my glasses. Not perfect, but again, we're not trying to be perfect. We're just having fun. making something for fun. All right, so there's kind of my self-portrait. We're going to call it my self-portrait. And I'm done drawing now, and so now I'm going to move on to the creative, fun, colorful part, adding color, and then adding some collage paper. I'm going to start with some colored pencils. And so again, this is where you have a choice. You can make it what you want it to be. It doesn't have to be, completely realistic. It can be a little bit more abstract and colorful. I'm going to do a combination of both, I think. So I'm going to make my glasses like really pink, just for fun. I'm going to color it in. And just work, enjoy, have fun. Make it what you want it to be. It's your art. I'm going to blend a little yellow into that, kind of make them really neon, which is not really what my glasses look like, but I think that that would be fun. And then, let's see, my eyes are kind of a brownish green, so I need to find a green and a brown. That'll work. And I'm going to use a little bit of both, very lightly. Color that in. Blend, blend, blend. Get a little green in there. There we go. Get some brown on my eyebrows. Well, they're pretty black already because of the Sharpie. So I'm going to add a little bit color on the outside of them to make them look a little bit brown. All right. Maybe a little eyeliner, put some makeup on me. That's fun. All right, let me give me some colorful hair. I'm gonna make it a blondish brown. I'm still clinging to my youth when I had more blonde hair. It's a little bit more brown now, but again, this is my self-portrait, however I want it to look, and I want it to have blonde hair, so that's what I'm gonna give it. I have the luck of having straight hair for this project. If you've got curly hair, you could draw in your hair by making just curvy lines or little swirls. That works really well. But I'm pretty much just using straight lines on mine, not being too careful. It's a little bit sketchy, but I like the look of the line. Let's see. And a little yellow. There we go. All right, for my lips, I'm going to make them a really pale, kind of fleshy pink. That's a little too fleshy. I might add a little bit more color there. A little more pink. That's nice. All right. I can put a little rouge on my cheeks. A little blush in here. Got a little skin tone on my face. Not a lot. Just kind of get an idea for, again, what I look like. My nose, a little on my forehead. It helps when you're working with colored pencils. If you don't want the super line effect, if you kind of move it in a light circle as you go, it blends it a little bit more so you don't have such a bold line. But just play with what you have. Practice. If you only have markers, if you have crayons, if you don't have any kind of colorful things at all and you have pencils or ink pens, all of that would work great to do this. You don't have to have all the different materials. Anything would work. Let's see, a little bit more color on my neck. All right, and now the next extra fun part, we are going to add some collage papers. And so these are just things that we have cut out of magazines, and this was actually, I think, a wrapping paper. And I want to use this for my shirt. And so I'm just going to kind of cut it out a little bit. Whoop. Let's see how we can make it work. That'll be nice. It's right there. There's my shoulder. I'm going off the paper a little bit, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. So let's see. Put a little glue down, don't need a lot, just in the general space where I'm going, kind of outlining it. And I'll put that in there. Oops, did I want it like that? Yeah, that's nice. Just like that. Maybe I'm wearing shoulder pads in my self-portrait. All right. Then I'm going to use, I think I've got some more of that. Where is it? There it is. Put it over on this one. So I need to cut it a little bit more for this shoulder. So give that kind of a curve down. And make this like a shoulder shape. Right there, that'll be perfect. So glue again, just right here where I need it, not the whole space, kind of just outlining it. Glue that on there. Almost a complete shoulder area. I need a little bit more in here. But here's the fun thing about collage, it doesn't have to match. We can have some fun with it too. I think I'll use, this is a really fun green color for the middle of my shirt here. Or maybe it's a necklace that's hanging down. That might be nice too. Kind of cut it like that. That's fun. Kind of looks like a necktie. I don't normally wear neckties, but we're getting creative and fun with the self-portrait. All right. That's fun. I like it. All right, so in general, I have a complete self-portrait. If I wanted to keep going, like in this one back here, you see we also added some patterned clouds and a sunshine. You know, your options are limitless. You can add whatever you want. Another fun thing to put in self-portraits is if you have a pet that you like, you can add, you know, maybe part of your, like your cat's sitting in your lap, or your little gerbils on your shoulder. But yeah, that's pretty much how we do a self-portrait at the museum and through our Learning Through Art program, which starting this year, we're going to be offering as a virtual program. So thank you so much for following along. I would love to see what you make. We have, our website is mmfa.org, and if you want to email anything that you created along with this, you can email it to pr@mmfa.org, and we can put your picture up on the website. Okay? Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.